Hey, well, it's a little late here on July 15th, but it is Wednesday still. And what day is it? Question of the week. All right. In last week's question, I asked who was your favorite fighter and why was he your favorite fighter. Didn't have to be the greatest fighter or the best fighter or even the best looking or the guy with the best record. Any of that. It was who was the best fighter, for you. And this one was 29, Harvey Danilo. And his favorite fighter is Ricky Hatton. There were a few for Ricky Hatton. And they said he wasn't the most technically skilled fighter, but he's one of the bravest fighters out there. Everything you saw about him, he fought with heart. He never took a fight off. And even though he had his downfalls with Pacquiao and Mayweather, I mean, this is a guy that could just as easily sit down and have a beer with you as anything else, shake your hand, everything. So, one of the true good guys in boxing. And that's exactly what I was looking for with this was, it doesn't have to be the baddest guy, A voice for Vendetta. Or you're a young one. Going through his grandfather showed him some older videos, and as he got older, he realized the true greatness of none other than Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. And I hope I said that right. But yeah, he was absolutely amazing. No one thought he would beat Leonard, and he whooped him. And that he did, and then the No Moss came after that, but at the same time, he did something that nobody thought he could do. And he was absolutely amazing. Red Pandemic came across and was like Mike Tyson. He was too extreme. He was so ferocious, so exciting. Hard for me not to say that he's his favorite fighter. I mean, he gives Manny Pacquiao some mentions and Roberto Duran, but I mean, Tyson in his day, if you were not old enough to see him walk into the ring when he was doing it, you really missed out on some unbelievable stuff. He was boxing for almost 10 years. You couldn't mention boxing without mentioning him. Natalie Holt brings up, got to be Joe Calzaghe, even though people don't rate him as a great fighter. But he was 46-0 with 32 knockouts. So, yes, you can say he was a great fighter. He did beat great fighters. He beat Roy Jones Jr. He beat Bernard Hopkins. And before you start discrediting that, Bernard Hopkins seems to be doing pretty good. He's just as good with age. He's really taking care of himself. He's a great, great fighter. He beat Kessler. When they said he wasn't fighting anybody, he whooped Lacey. He exposed Lacey for who he was. As an amateur, he beat Chris Bird. He whooped Roy Jones. He embarrassed Roy Jones Jr. It was like he said, "Roy, I'm going to give you something that your mama never gave you." Walked over to the tree, broke that stick off, and whooped Roy's behind. Yeah. John 6 times. I'm going to go with his past, not his present. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Unbelievable defensive style of boxing. He loves seeing, the heart and people really beating the hell out of each other. But, he really loves watching that pure boxing skills. It's KP, mofo! He picks Floyd Mayweather Jr. He may not be the biggest, he may not be the strongest. But yet with his skills, he always finds a way to totally dominate and outclass his opponents. Most people think he's overly cocky. He believes it's extreme confidence. I don't know if you could be that confident, honestly. That would be like, I didn't think God was that confident. He's like, yeah, I just created Earth. I'm the man. Well, I created John Ruiz, too. You see what I'm saying? Jowie PR. I'm going to go with that's Puerto Rico. Obviously, he's a huge Miguel Cotto fan. Huge Miguel Cotto fan. Could be his all-time favorite if he just comes out of that emotional shell that he's in. If you really you could really see the passion in him. because he's a stone cold killer. You know, he really doesn't show that much emotion when he's fighting. SP the King, hands down, no doubt about it. Bernard Hopkins, the way he approaches his fight and trains, one of the best defensive fighters ever, throws people off. The nickname, the Executioner's Mask when he came out, you know, striking fear into people. He was a body artist because he physically and mentally broke people down. Yeah. Hafid Hassan Skater, Marvin Hagler. Oh yeah. The idea, what made him so good is he had something that people like to refer to as balls. He had them in spades, man. That dude was just awesome. His bravery and unwillingness to take no for an answer made him lethal. Issues regarding his chin, it was granite. You know, he'd show you. But you know how big his heart was, how much he trained, everything. Just an overall unbelievable fighter. He could fight almost as well southpaw as he could orthodox, or orthodox as well as he could southpaw. Either way, I mean, I wouldn't want to have fought him with either side. Taco and beer. I love that. Roy Jones Jr. for his character, speed, power, and his music. Y'all must have forgot. Miguel Cotto for his Terminator style of fighting. Nonito Donaire for his explosive KOs and being a really nice guy outside the ring. Jermaine Taylor for his pure boxing skills. And Winky Wright for his defensive style and fighting stance. And his nickname. And, well, that was the 10. I believe it was 10. But this one I wanted to throw in, Crazy Cat. And this was before his passing. She was honestly, I would say, Arturo Gatti. Because he just has the will to win and willing to go to war at any cost. And still fight with a broken hand, which is really hard to do. Accepts defeat in a good way, and one of the most exciting fighters of our era. And I give him props as my favorite fighter of all time. And looking on that, I'm going to switch over to the question of the week. Now, I didn't do a thing on Alexis Arguello, and I'll get to a video for him. But I want this one, this question, because of Arturo Gatti, and I watched a lot of his fights, and the fact that it was only 2 years ago when he stopped fighting, you know, and to be snuffed out that early in life at 37, to lose him, I mean, we've lost so many young in their prime, right in that area, you know, with Sanchez and Corrales, you know, all those people. But you know, you got Arturo Gatti, the Thunder, 40-9, 31 KOs. He was his heart, his warrior. He gave it all in the ring. He gave us a trilogy with Ward, not a trilogy, a trilogy. But people might know him for his destruction against Mayweather when he got crushed, or De La Hoya. But he was a fighter you rose and fell with. He was very easy to like if you ever watched him fight. He wasn't the greatest fighter, and he'll be the first to tell you that. But he was a fighter that you always got your money's worth when you saw him fight. He wasn't going to let you down. If it was 5 rounds of fighting, you got 5 rounds. You know, there wasn't an off round there. Now he retired, so we don't have to we're not losing out on his future in that sense, in future fights. Obviously the future of his life and things he was going to do there. But I want to know, what was your favorite Gotti fight? He's recent enough that most people could check him out and see it. You know, I mean, he had the 3 with Ward. He had Gabriel Ruelas, Ivan Rodriguez, or Robinson, I mean, Angel Manfredi, Calvin Grove, Tracy Patterson, Jesse James Leija. I don't think he should have ever fought over 140. I think that was a really good weight for him. Even 135. I mean, but he was a muscular guy for his size. So, I didn't want to do this. I was thinking more of a, you know, prime versus prime kind of fight. I'll do that next week. But this week, you know, just for Gotti, I want to do this, okay? So, tell me about your favorite fight of his and what you liked or what you loved about it. And I couldn't pick one. I'm going with the trilogy with Ward. That was an absolute, that was a war. And you have to watch all three of them. He lost the first one, won the second one, third one was UD. So, yeah. Alright? Alright. Well, this is Bigragu. You all have a wonderful day. Alright? I'm out.